Hey everybody, we just posted our last cruise video and we wanted to post a video about our cruise tips, everything that we've learned throughout the years in our travels cruising, because there's a lot to know and we've learned a lot each trip and we wanted to share those with you. So Elisa's compiled a list of some things that has helped us over the last few years in cruises. So we're going to get started.
Yeah, whenever we were getting ready for our first cruise a few years ago, we'd never been on a cruise, didn't really know what to expect. So I'm a researcher, so I started doing research about what to do on board, what you should bring, what you should not bring. So I've got a little list here together. I've got it in categories. We've got what to pack, food and drinks, what to do on board, and ports and excursions. So
it's a really big list.
Well, there's a lot to learn, but it's going to go through really quick. But these are just some tips that we're throwing out there. If you have any questions after the fact, please leave them in the comments and we'd be more than happy to answer. So just to jump into it, first thing that doesn't go in any of these categories is money. We always bring cash to use in ports. Whenever you're on the ship, everything is cashless. You will have a card that you scan, and that's how you pay for everything on board. But when you go into port, I don't recommend bringing a debit card that's linked to your credit card or your bank account. We bring cash, and we have a credit card as a backup. If you are going to bring your debit card or use a credit card, you need to let the bank know that you're going to be out of the country, so they do approve those charges. Okay?
Good
so
tip.
Getting into what to bring. One thing is there's very few plugs, so we always bring a power strip to plug in our extras, because there's 5 of us, so we've got cell phones, iPads, cameras, video cameras.
Especially if you're vlogging and you have lots of camera equipment, you definitely are going to need power supply, power strips.
And there are 2 plugs in the bathroom and 2 plugs in the cabin. That's not enough. So a power strip will give you 6 plugs, I believe, to take up one of those. So that's a good thing to bring. Another thing I recommend is decorating your door. If you look on a cruise ship, think about the length of a cruise ship. That's how long these hallways are, and every door looks identical. So you're going to know about where you are in the ship, and you're going to know your cabin number, but especially those first couple of days, getting oriented with the ship, if you bring some simple decorations for your door, it's a lot easier to identify your cabin from all of the other cabins.
Much easier.
On the floor.
I can attest to that, because it's like forever, the hallways, and it's all the same thing, like those mirrored images in the playhouses. It's crazy, but if you see your door decorations, you know exactly where you're going. It makes it so much easier.
Okay, the second thing is we always bring a little gift bag for our steward, and this is not something that's required or anything like that, but I've read on several cruise sites that these people that work in your cabins, they get to know you and you get to know them. They're going to know your name as soon as you walk onto your deck. They're going to say hi and say your name. They know who you are, and they take care of you. If you need anything, they're going to get it for you. So we always bring just a little gift bag to say hi,
show appreciation.
Yeah. Thank you for taking care of our family.
And it's a tit for tat. You take care of them, they'll take care of you. You'll get a little better service if you show them some care, that you're looking out for them. What did we bring?
We bring things that they can use on board. They have to...
Personalized from Louisiana, of course.
Right. We always bring some personalized Louisiana things, some Cajun seasoning,
some Tabasco sauce,
and some other things from Louisiana. But then also they have to wash their own clothes on board, so we give the little Tide packs and things like that they can use. Candy, everybody loves
just
candy.
little gifts things. That's strictly
a small
up to
gift
you.
bag. Just fill it with things that you like, that you think they will like, and it's just a little hi, thank you for taking care of us. Another good thing is a highlighter. Every night when you come into your cabin, you're going to have an itinerary for the next day. There are tons of things to do on the ship. You're not going to want to do them all. So a highlighter will help you remember, oh yeah, I want to do that, or I don't want to do that. Ziploc bags. I'm a big fan of Ziploc bags. They will help you on the ship, off the ship, whenever you go on excursions. If you've got something that's wet and you want to isolate it, or something you want to keep dry, like putting your cell phone in a Ziploc bag if a rainstorm comes, things like that. So they're always handy. Also, post-it notes for leaving messages for each other. Now some ships have texting devices that you can use through your cell phone, but on our first cruise there was nothing like that. So we had walkie-talkies that nobody ever remembered. So I thought a good thing to do is bring post-it notes. If you're going to be leaving the room, just leave a note for everybody else in your party.
Yeah, and you don't want to be carrying walkie-talkies around with you all day.
No, we tried
and
that.
And the batteries died, and the signal's not real clear. Don't recommend it.
No, and lots of other people on the cruise ship have walkie-talkies, so you're picking up other people's signals. It just didn't work very well for us.
But the app, we had the app.
Right, but not all ships have that.
Okay, not all ships have that.
Yeah.
Some ships do. Well, that's another video.
Another good thing to bring is a small set of binoculars if you want to look out far. I know that we ended up looking through our camera because of the zoom lens can zoom in so much further than your eyes can see. So a little pair of binoculars will help with that if you want to see something off in the distance. A small first aid kit and over-the-counter medicines. That's a big deal.
Luckily, we haven't had to use the first aid kit yet. Maybe for some like ibuprofen or something.
Yeah, or just the Band-Aids.
Always good to have peace of mind, and you never know.
You're also going to do a lot of walking on the ship, so you can develop little blisters on the backs of your feet and things like that. So Band-Aids are a good thing to always have. Headache medicine. Unfortunately, I got a sinus infection one time and did not have.
So antibiotics.
Yeah, if you can get your doctor to give you some antibiotics to take, that's a great thing to do too. We do that.
We'll go to the doctor before a trip, and we pretty much know the doctors. We tell them what we want. They'll give us some antibiotics and a steroid. We just pack it with us in case we need it.
Because I'm highly prone to sinus infections.
Yes.
So when you're far away, yes, you can go to the ship's doctor, but it's going to take away from your vacation. It's going to cost a lot of money. If you can bring it with you, that's great too. So, pop-up clothes hampers. That is a huge.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Helper.
She was so brilliant. Whenever I saw her pop that out of the bag, I was like, "Wow, you're so smart."
You can get them in the laundry aisle of Walmart, places like that, and they fold completely flat so they don't take up any room.
And they go, boing!
Yep, they pop up so you're not having piles of dirty clothes. And I bring two. I bring one for clothes and one for underwear and socks and things like that, because it's just better to separate those things out.
And throw a couple dryer sheets.
Yes.
Bring some extra dryer sheets, because if you got kids, you never know. Take some of those dryer sheets and throw those in those dirty clothes hampers. Helps keep the
We've always packed those into our
down,
clothes.
so to speak.
We pack those into our suitcase. That way our clothes smell fresh too, not like they're bundled into a suitcase.
Yeah.
If you want to do laundry on board, there are facilities. I recommend, if you think about doing it, bring your own little pods or dryer sheets, because they're very, very expensive.
But who wants to do laundry on a vacation?
Not me.
Not
I bring
us.
enough clothes that I can wear through the trip, and I will wash clothes when I get home. Not doing clothes. But you never know, you might have an emergency. I always bring one just in case.
My brother goes with us. He does laundry. To each their own.
Yeah. Bring a lightweight sweater or jacket. Sometimes at night, if you're going to be out on deck, it can get chilly when those, especially if it's not summertime. If you're in the spring, we usually cruise in the spring. Sometimes.
Cheers, mates.
Sometimes in the spring, it will get chilly up on deck. So just a lightweight long sleeve shirt or lightweight sweater. If you're going to check bags, make sure your swimsuits and things you're going to need that first night are in a carry-on. It might be late night before you get those checked bags, and your kids are going to want to swim as soon as they get on that boat.
And the adults probably there's a good chance the adults will too, but that's a great point.
Yeah, so make sure you bring your swimsuit and whatever you're going to want to wear to dinner
So
that
you can
night.
go play that day you get on the ship, and you don't got to worry about what time your luggage is getting there, for sure.
Okay. Also, if you're going to have sea bands or something like that, make sure they're in your carry-on. Every cruise line is different. We're going to specify this to Carnival because that's what we normally cruise on. They will allow you to bring a 12-pack of canned drinks per person. We always do this. We recommend it. That way, I have a certain soda I like. I can bring it with me. We don't have to buy the drink program. It's just something that we prefer to do. So I bring my 12-pack, Jason brings his, each of the kids bring their own. Also, you're allowed a bottle of wine or champagne per adult, and they have to go in the carry-on. We made that mistake the first time. We thought they were supposed to be in checked bags. They were confiscated. They did give them back to us, but your wine does have to be in your carry-on.
And you have a cooler, a little mini refrigerator in your room, so
yes.
You'll be able to keep your sodas cool or your wine cool.
Mm-hmm. And also your steward will bring you a bucket of ice if you want that.
Now, don't play any tricks. Don't try to put beer in those 12 packs of sodas because they will check every can.
Yep, they open the box and they check every can.
Depending on who you get.
Because unfortunately people have tried that. They'll open up the 12 pack and take out the cans of soda and put in beer. And obviously too many people have gotten caught doing that. We've never tried, so we're not.
You may get caught, you may not. Depends on who you get. But, you know, we got kids, and we just choose not to do that. So
no. So that's everything I've got to pack on the list. Can you think of anything else that you recommend packing?
Make sure you bring some Glide in case you chafe.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Because I chafe. I mean, this may be TMI, and you may edit this out. I don't know, but it is a really good tip.
No, it really is because Jason.
You're wearing a lot of swim trunks, folks, on these cruises, and you're wearing them on the ship, and you're wearing them. And I got multiple pairs, but your thighs are rubbing, you know, and sometimes you get chafe down there in the private area, and it can ruin your vacation. So she has this stuff called.
It's called Body Glide, and it works just like you put it on like you would deodorant.
Like a deodorant stick.
And you put it on in your area that you would chafe.
And it just cuts down on the friction.
Yep.
And everything glides right, and it keeps you from chafing. Get some if you have a problem chafing.
Oh, and bring your own sunscreen.
Yeah. And bronzer. Bronzer too, because if you like to bronze, the bronzer will really give you a ravishing tan.
Make sure you have enough sunscreen or bronzer for the whole trip, because we've got 5 people. We bring usually 3 to 4 big bottles of sunscreen because you're going to be in the sun pretty much all day for 7 days. Okay, now to food and drinks and dinner. So we talked a little bit about what kind of drinks you can bring on board. Something that we like to do is in the dining room, once you get to know your waiter after the first night, you can ask for a cheese and cracker plate every night. And so if you ask for it on the first night and you tell them, hey, we'd kind of like this maybe at the beginning of each meal, they'll have it there whenever you get there. So that's a really good way, because sometimes it'll take a little while to get those appetizers out.
Usually you got to remind them still every day, but just let them know, hey, can we get that cheese and cracker tray? And they'll be like, no problem. Absolutely, they'll bring it right to you. Okay?
That's something that's normally on the dessert menu that they'll show you at the end of the night, but if you ask for it at the beginning of the meal, they'll definitely bring it. And that's something we like to do, and they'll bring it with the bread.
Go ahead.
You gonna add something?
Well, I was just gonna say on the entrees, I know you'll probably get there, but on the entrees, the first time I was told that if you wanted 2 entrees or 3 entrees, you wanted to try 2 or 3 different things, you can. At first, the first cruise I went to, I was like, I didn't want to do that. Felt like a jerk doing that. But after a while, you learn that the staff is used to that.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. Go ahead. Get what you want.
Yeah.
Enjoy your vacation. If you want a lobster tail, if you're torn between the lobster and the prime rib,
get both.
Get both.
That's
I've done it several times. It's no problem. Pretty much everybody does it. You're going to want to, it's your vacation. You've earned it. Sample everything, Definitely don't worry about getting multiple entrees.
That's a good thing. And actually, it was not on my list, so I'm glad you said that. Okay, if you want to dine in a specialty restaurant, you might want to make those reservations early, especially if you want to do something like the chef's table, because that's a very small portion. We've never done it. We've always thought that there's enough food between the dining room and the buffets and all the other things. We've never gone to those specialty restaurants, but that is a tip that I read somewhere. Something that we really like to do is tea time. On C days in the afternoons, about 3 o'clock, in one of the dining rooms, so you have to look at your schedule, there's tea time. So you go in there and you're seated with a group, or if, like this last time, there was enough of us, we got a private table.
You can request a private table and they'll probably give you one, because it's not a lot of people go.
No, yeah. But it's fun. And
it's really nice. Yeah. And the place where you have the tea time is spectacular. The view is spectacular. You can sit by the windows at the rear of the ship, depending on which one you go to.
Right.
But I highly recommend it. It's very relaxing. It's really nice.
One other thing we didn't realize on the first trip that we absolutely love is sea day brunch. So another thing, it's just on sea days, but in the mornings it starts normally about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it goes through right after lunchtime. In the dining room, it's a specialty menu, and you can get breakfast or lunch, and it's brunch. So it's really good, and it's made to order as opposed to the buffet. So that's something that we like to try and do.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to want to try both just to see, but yeah, the brunch is definitely a nice change. The food's a little bit more, it's a little better.
And in our opinion, we do buffet on port days, because you want to get in, get you something to eat, and get off the ship.
Get off the ship, yeah.
So
that's right.
Brunch is not offered on port days, so we always will do the buffets, and it's good food. You just have to pick what you like and find something you like and eat before you get off the ship. Okay. Another thing that Carnival does is called the Taste Bar, and it's not every night, but it's certain nights, and it's from 5 to 8 usually, and it's little appetizers, and they're gourmet appetizers, and it doesn't cost anything, and you go up, and usually
they'll usually already have them prepared for you, to where you just tell them which one you want, and you get to taste them.
Yeah.
And we haven't found one that we haven't liked so
they're
far.
always very good, and they definitely do it on formal nights.
Everything from Swedish meatballs to pumpkin bisques. Just it's neat stuff to try.
It's different, and it's very good. Okay, so that pretty much covers all the food and drinks. Here's a few things that we recommend doing once you get on board of the ship. First thing I say is unpack. Don't live out of a suitcase for your week. You've got closets, you've got drawers. Unpack your stuff. Get situated in your room. There's plenty of room.
You'll be glad that you did, because you got space under your bed to take all those suitcases and put them underneath the bed, so that they're out of your way and out of your walking space, because the rooms are small. You're going to only be there to sleep. They're comfortable, but they're small.
The beds are very
So that's definitely a good tip.
So take advantage of those closets. If you need extra hangers, your steward will bring you extra hangers if you've asked for them. We've never needed them. You hang up some clothes. There's one closet that's got shelves in it, and so we just keep most things folded. Take your extra shoes, unpack your toiletries in your bathroom. Make yourself at home. This is where you're living for a week. On
toiletries, they do supply the shampoo in every shower. They have shampoo, and they have conditioner dispensers.
And body wash.
So, unless you're one that likes to bring your own shampoo and conditioner or soap, you don't have to.
Right.
They supply that.
One thing you don't have to pack.
Yeah.
And they usually have a little basket of mini things, but it's random, so you don't know what you're going to get. So if there's anything else you want, you better bring it. Oh, he mentioned about the mini bar earlier. The mini bar is going to be in every room. It's going to have sodas and little bottles of alcohol and other things like that. We always ask our steward to empty it. Take all that stuff out so we can use it, and put our own drinks in there so our drinks get cold, and our kids know not to touch anything, because they don't take it out of the room. They just take it and put it up on a shelf, so it's out of the way.
The steward takes it, it doesn't give them the opportunity to take something, because it can be tempting sitting there having the little bottles of wine, and before you know it, you're racked up a bill. So you can actually get them taken out of your room, like she said, and you got all that space to put your stuff.
If you brought a bottle of wine, the steward can provide you with a corkscrew. Don't worry about trying to bring that. It's sharp. It might not make it through security. Don't try and bring it. They will give you one on board.
And if you like your wine chilled, you can do like Elisa did. You got a bucket. You got ice machines. You go fill them up with ice. Stick your bottle of wine in there, and you got cold wine.
And they'll bring you wine glasses as well.
Yeah. Did you bring your wine? They did.
Yep, I always bring my wine. Yeah. Yep. Okay. In the library, if you want some quiet time, every ship has a library, and in the library there's crossword puzzles and other games. We've never done it, but
Boring.
It's something you can do. There's board games in there.
People actually go in there.
Yeah, we always see people in there, and it's just a nice quiet. If you want something quiet to do, that's something to do.
Each their own.
In the casino, if you forgot to bring a lanyard is something that's very helpful on ship because everything that you do revolves around your sail and sign card. We recommend taking it and putting it around your neck on a lanyard.
Slipping it in that sleeve right there around your neck on the lanyard.
If you forgot to bring a lanyard, go to the casino and they'll give you one for free.
Just gotta ask them.
They're the stretchy ones.
Yeah, like stretchy like an old phone cord.
Yeah, and the point of those is so you can take your card and stick it in a slot machine. You know, that's why they stretch like that. But if you, on our first cruise, we didn't have lanyards, and they did give us some free in the casino. Another thing I recommend, if your ship does not have the app with the schedule in it, take a picture of your schedule for the day. That way you don't have to carry around your itinerary. You can have a picture of it snapped on your phone. Also, what that does is on your camera or your phone, wherever you take your pictures, it separates your day. So you can say, here's your itinerary, and then here's all the pictures I took for that day, and then the next itinerary. And so it'll help you organize your pictures. If you have teenagers and they're going to go to the teen clubs, they need to go the first night because that's where the meet and greets happen. That's when people make friends. Our kids don't like the teen clubs.
That's just not, they're not into that.
Yeah, to each their own, but a lot of kids do. And so if you do have teenagers, make sure they attend that first night's meet and greet. Another thing, I know you've done this, I haven't, is the showers and the spas, the saunas.
Yeah, you can get access to those once you enter into the spa, which is where the gym is. Yep. You go into the spa, you go left for the men's, you go right for the women's, or depending on what ship you go on. Once you enter into the spa, you got access to steam room, to the sauna, to the gym, the showers, locker rooms, all that. And I enjoy sitting in the sauna and the steam room every now and then just to sweat out after the gym. Yeah, they've always been really clean.
And there's no charge for those.
And there's no charge for those.
A lot of people think because they're in the spa, there's a charge to use them. There's not.
Yeah, now there is a separate charge if you actually go into
and get a spa treatment.
Like a massage or something like that. Yeah, there's a charge, but you have to enter in through the spa to get to all those other things.
Speaking of the gym, how do you like the gyms on board?
The gyms are good. They can get packed depending on what time you get there. I'm an early riser, so I get there early. And so I got free reign of the gym, and I'm talking probably between 6 and 7 a.m. I'll go in there, and I've never had to wait on anything. Plenty of equipment available. They're they're not real big and they're not real small. I mean, they're adequate for a ship, but everything you need. You
usually got a pretty good view.
All the push stuff you need, all the pull stuff you need, stuff for cardiovascular, treadmills, ellipticals.
They're usually on the front of the ship, so they've got a good view, and usually the treadmills and the ellipticals and things are lined up along the window.
And they're right above the Lido deck, usually, which is where the pools are. They're going to be in the back behind the Lido deck, either on the 10th or 11th, depending on what ship you're on. But yeah, great facilities.
Okay, so that's everything about on board. So we've got a few suggestions for excursions. Definitely recommend booking your excursions before you leave home. If you're a first-time cruiser, like we were, we went to a class informational seminar about excursions, what was available, what you could do.
Yeah, in the theater area, they hold these.
So that's good if you don't know what to do. But after that, we never went through those classes. We always booked our excursions before we left, because you've got more time to figure out what you want to do, and then it's not taking away your cruise time standing in line to book an excursion.
Okay, but here's the thing with that, okay? If you're not sure what you want to do, if if you can go to the theater on the ship, you got plenty of, you'll have 1 or 2 sea days, depending on what cruise you go on, to decide what you want. But they have these things in the theater that the lady goes up. What is it? The cruise director.
It's usually the
cruise director
that does it.
is sitting on stage, and she has a big old screen behind her and projection. They show pictures on each excursion. They explain what each excursion is that's available to you, so that you can make a decision on which one you want to do. Some people aren't sure what's available. Even they do the research, there's still a lot of stuff that's available that's hard to find, So it just depends on what you want to do. But if you're not sure what you want to do, I would recommend going there, because they're pretty good at explaining what everything does, and then you can make a wise decision based on that.
Especially if you're a first-time cruiser and have never done an excursion before. Okay? Also, you can book excursions through your cruise line, or you can book excursions outside the cruise line. For instance, on this last cruise, in Montego Bay, Jamaica, we wanted to go to an all-inclusive. And we looked at what was available through Carnival, and then we looked at what else was available, and we ended up finding an excursion outside of Carnival. It was booked through resortforaday.com, and it was to Sunscape Resort, and it was phenomenal. It was the best excursion we've ever been on.
10 out of 10. And
yeah,
by far.
That specific resort, you could not go there through Carnival. The only way you could go there was through an outside source. So if you're going to do something outside, make sure you check it out, make sure it's a reputable company, and make sure they're going to get you back on time, because the ship will leave you. If you're booked through Carnival or your own or whatever cruise line, they can't leave you because it's a contract.
Don't be scared of booking your own excursions.
Right.
It can be sketchy depending on which ones you get. Just do your research, folks, and you'll be okay. You'll be fine.
And I know I've talked to people that didn't have anything planned, walked off the ship, and there's people right there that will take you places. Some people have had great experiences with those, and some have not. So that's not something I'm willing to try. But
the biggest difference between booking an excursion through Carnival and booking your own excursion is that if you book through Carnival, they make sure that you are going to be back on time to get on that ship. If you book on your own, not through Carnival, it's up to you. So keep that in mind when you're booking your excursions.
Yeah. So we were comfortable. Where we went was only literally 5 minutes from port. So if we had to have gotten a cab, we could have made sure we were back on time. There's some excursions that are an hour or two away. I would never book outside the cruise line if you're going that far away.
Yeah, because you know, things could happen. You know, there's been people, you know, that's been in buses on their way back, and the buses have broke down or have flat tires. We've seen it.
Yep.
And you know, you're vulnerable to that.
What to bring on shore? We always bring a backpack that has our essentials in it. So we're going to have our sunscreen, our first aid kit, and water. So in your stateroom, there will be big bottles, like liter bottles of water. We always bring 1 or 2 of those on shore with us. That way we've got fresh drinking water that we don't have to stop and find somewhere to get. The cruise lines will have beach towels in the room. You can definitely bring those on
Just
shore.
make sure you return them.
Right, because if you don't, they're going to charge you for
Sunscreen.
them. Absolutely.
Loads
sunscreen.
Of sunscreen.
Bug repellent, hand sanitizer. These are things that we will not go ashore
without. And of course, your first aid kit. You know, what is it? Oh, make sure you got plenty of sunglasses, folks.
Yes.
And I would recommend hats.
Yeah.
Because
the Caribbean sun can be very
You're spending
bright.
a lot of time in the sun. In the first 2 days you're going, you have no hats. You're sitting in the sun by the pool. You're going to get an abundance of sun. You're going to want to break from the sun. So lots of sunscreen, headgear, sunglasses. Protect yourself from the sun because it can get brutal out there.
I've gotten to where I wear a long sleeve shirt over my swimsuit. because I'm so fair, I will burn like that.
For the kids, we bring, we do not allow our kids to swim without their swim shirts. We have swim shirts for them. Now they're short sleeve, but as long as their shoulders and their, their bodies are covered up, they'll be good to go.
Right.
But we've made the mistake early on not doing that, and then they get burnt to a crisp, and they're miserable the rest of the trip.
A sunburn will ruin your vacation.
Not just sunscreen and hats and sunglasses, but swim shirts. Definitely a must for kids.
Another thing that's very important to bring ashore is a watch. Don't depend on your cell phone, because especially if you're in airplane mode, you may not have the right time, and you need to be on the ship's time, not the local time. So when you get off the ship, there are going to be big clocks everywhere saying ship's time is, back on board at.
Great
Make
point.
sure your watch, a physical watch, not a cell phone, is set to the ship's time so you know when to get back
And this
on
is
board.
probably silly of me to even say this, because you're not going to do it anyway. But I wouldn't bring your phone on the excursions. You're going to do it anyway because you're going to take pictures.
I always
Okay.
bring mine because that's my camera.
Me,
He leaves his on the ship.
remember that time we
Oh,
were in
yeah.
Cozumel?
Mm-hmm.
We were on a snorkel and sail
Yep.
excursion in Cozumel, and we were about to go snorkeling off this catamaran boat, and you get caught up in the moment. I jump in the water with my phone in my
his
pocket.
Not in
And
the waterproof case.
So I just don't bring mine. But, just a little tip from me.
Yep. Another thing is bring your ship's itinerary. Because
Take pictures with a GoPro.
if you have an emergency, there will be a phone number, a name, everything on that itinerary of someone on the ship that you can contact. Okay, that's everything I have for ports and excursions. The last just little random tip that I have is every ship has what they call secret decks. And they're decks that are not they're not public decks. They're normally they're at the very, very front of the ship, but if you want those amazing
Shots.
of
Or just views, or
it's very, very windy up there, and you normally have to go to like a passenger cabin deck and then go outside, and it's very windy, but it's really, really pretty, and we always do it just at least once a cruise. Go up there. You're not going to be able to go to the very front of the ship and get that Titanic I'm the king of the world shot. We have tried it. They have it roped off.
but it's as close as you can get to it.
But it's close, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
So that's my last tip. Now, I did record some footage of us while we were packing. I'm going to put that in just a minute. So that's it. That's our cruise tips.
When's our next cruise?
When is our next cruise? Spring break.
Spring break. That's when we always
We
go
all-
because we can take the kids out of school.
Well, the kids are out.
Well,
of
the kids
school,
are out of school.
so they don't miss any.
Yeah, the kids
school.
are out of school. They don't miss any school, so we always go on spring break. The only problem with this, we're limited on what we can do and where we can go, so
Yeah.
we do a lot of the same cruising. But we are taking a different ship this
Yes,
time.
we're taking a different ship and a different
It's a big ship.
itinerary. We're going to be on the Carnival Dream out of New Orleans. We've never ported out of New Orleans either.
Always Galveston, Texas.
And so this cruise is it's Cozumel, Belize, and Honduras. So this is a new itinerary for us. Of course, all cruise ships seem to go to Cozumel, but the other two ports are going to be new
Which
for
is
us, so
fine.
we're excited
Cozumel's
about
great.
that.
You can always explore something different each time. There's always plenty to do there. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to us.
Yes, please
and
subscribe
like
to our
us.
channel.
Please leave some comments.
And if you have any questions, leave a comment. We'll answer them. If you have any other suggestions for other people that we didn't mention, leave them in the comments. Maybe somebody else
Please
will
do,
read it
because
too.
we're still learning. And but most importantly, happy cruising, everybody.
Okay, so we're getting ready to pack for the cruise, and these are just some extra items that we bring other than clothes and toiletries and things like that. So for going around the ship, we have a beach bag that we'll keep our everyday essentials in. Nice floppy sun hats are a good idea. Sunglasses, they're not out here, but obviously sunglasses are a good idea. Lots and lots of sunscreen. I get SPF 50 for me and the kids. Jason likes to have some bronzer, so we do have that as well. And God forbid we do get a burn, I always carry some aloe cream. Also, hand sanitizer, very important. You've got over 4,000 people on the ship, not counting the crew. Things are going to get, you know, touched by lots of people. So I highly recommend hand sanitizer anytime you think about it. They also have hand sanitizing stations around the ship. Anytime you see one, please do use it. Here's some other things that you may not think about but are really come in handy on a cruise. I always bring some Ziploc bags, both gallon size and quart size. These can come in handy for lots of different things. If you've got on the last day something wet that you don't want to pack, throw it in a Ziploc bag. Also throw some toiletries, you know, you can put toiletries in there. They just have lots of uses. I bring them on any and every trip that we have. Also, they do have washing machines on the ship. You can buy laundry detergent on the ship, but it is quite expensive. So I've never actually done laundry on the ship, I will say that. But I always bring these just in case. It's just a couple of the little pods and dryer sheets. And I have 3 of each just in case. Also, I always keep a Tide pen, because if you get a little spill on your shirt or something, it's really good. You can get it right out with this. This is a pop-up laundry hamper. You can get these at the dollar store. I usually put one of these in each of the rooms. We do have 2 rooms because there are 5 of us. It's easier to have 2 rooms. And this just helps keeping the dirties all off the floor. Also, each room only has 1 2-outlet plug. So it's a good idea to bring, this is an extender. So this will extend 1 to 3, and then I have a power strip also, so we'll put this in one room and this in the other. I've got my tripod also. I'm going to try and do some shooting on the ship that might come in handy. C-bands. Cruise ships are very, very stable, so these are not something that you necessarily have to have, but if you have any inkling of seasickness, I recommend getting some of these. They just go on your wrist. You put 1 on each wrist. My boys like, me and Jason don't use them, but the boys do like them, so I have 3 packed, 1 for each of them in case they want them. Okay, now, going off the ship for excursions, we have a backpack. You'll see I'm not using my Disney backpack covered in pins because I don't want to get them damaged on a non-Disney trip. So this is just this is our other standard backpack. Lots of pockets, that's very good. We bring the GoPro bag and our other camera bag with us. This is a waterproof pouch for each cell phone. We have 3 with smartphones, so we have these. These are waterproof containers here. They seal tight. We got these at water parks, so we do know they work. This was bigger cell phones. You used to be able to put a little flip phone in here and your money and credit card and things like that. I also bring wet ones when we go off the ship and just around the ship. These come in handy just for wiping things down. I have my little bottle of hand sanitizer that attaches to the outside. That way it's easy access for going into port. More sunscreen, lots. So you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles of sunscreen for a 7-day cruise. It's better to have too much than not enough. Another thing is a first aid kit, and my first aid kit is very basic. It's got Band-Aids. This is a friction guard. This is more for if you're going to do a lot of walking. Very handy. Some Kleenexes, and then in here I've got antiseptic wipes, antibiotic wipes. So there's some gloves in there and a few other things. Basic, but the things that you're going to need if you get a cut or a blister or anything like that. The ships do have a first aid station, but this is convenient. You know, just carry it yourself. That way you've got it. This is something else that, I don't know if you can really tell. Let me go in a little bit closer so you can see what they are. These are lingerie bags, and when I say that, they're, you know, they're for washing your delicates in. But what we use them for, I get 1 for each of the boys, and I put their names on it. is for collecting seashells. So when you go into port and they each have their own bag, they can collect seashells, rinse them off in the water, and then that way they're not covered in sand and they have a keepsake. Another good idea, and that's where these Ziploc bags will come in handy, is getting a little bit of sand from each of the beaches. I've seen some really neat keepsakes in jars where you layer your sand from each beach you've been to. But that's just a few things. And I'll record some more. Something else we do is a welcome thank you gift for our steward. This is something totally optional. We still do, of course, the gratuities. They're recommended by the ship. But this is just, your steward is someone that you really get to know. And so we like to just give them a hi, we're the mic. Thank you for taking care of us. And let's see, we've got some dryer sheets, and I will pick up some of those little Tide Pods. I just haven't gotten those yet. Some candy. We've got Skittles, Sour Patch Kids. And I'll let the kids pick this stuff out. It's fun for them. Some Werthers. Got some sunflower seeds, toothpaste, razors. You usually get a man. I've never really had a woman before. Some air freshener because the cabins can get, and we're from Louisiana, so we always get little Louisiana hot sauce, and I will also pick up some Tony's Satchery seasonings to go in the bag. So, for about $10-15, it's just a nice, hey, thank you for taking care of us, and it's just a nice thing to do. Another tip I have is that all cabin rooms look identical, and you're going to have this long hallway of identical rooms. So do something to make your room stand out. I always do door decorations. This is what I did. We're going to have 2 cabins, so this is the boys' room, and I've got 3 frogs, and it says Ethan, Cameron, and Colby. And of course you can't use that type of door hanger, but I'm going to pick up some command hooks to put it on the door, and I have a little something that's little floral to go around it too. And this is the one from mine and Jason's store. Got a couple of little owls, Hawaiian lei, and again I'm going to have some little flowers to go around it. I just have to pick up the command stickies because the ships are particular about what you use to put your door decorations up. But get creative, do something different. You don't have to put your names on the door. This is just something that we did this year. We did posters last year, but just changing it up a little bit. But it's fun, and it's not necessary, it's not a requirement, it's just for fun. Okay, so we're all packed and ready to go. We have 1 carry-on size suitcase per person. We have our 12-pack of soda strapped with bungee cords onto the top. Beyond that, we have a tote bag for our everyday stuff, a backpack for getting off the ship, and then we have a bag with a gift bag for our steward, and then this will be a bag for us to bring back our souvenirs in. We're about to load in the car, and we get up and leave in the morning.
Okay, kind of leaning this way. Yeah, there. Not like completely, but
Okay, sorry.
I'm just saying, this is the center, so.
Always got to have some barrier between us.
Is there a barrier? Okay.
Alright, go.
So.
Hi! Go ahead, you do it.
You do open it up.
No. Hey everybody!
Weird.
7.
Hey, 7.